Coachella. Well, there's a lot that could be said about Coachella, but something very interesting happened at the end of the Strokes set in 2026. I'll get to that in a minute. I think Coachella was inspired by another festival that was created by Peter Gabriel and has been produced for decades. I don't know if it still continues to this day. It usually happens at least one place around the world every year. It went on tour in the United States one year, and I was able to go see it when it came through the LA area in the early 90s. It was called the World of Music, Arts, and Dance, and it was literally an international festival of culture, music, arts, and all kinds of things, even food. It was an all-day thing. The price was very affordable. I think I paid $25. I was there the whole day. It was very inspiring. A lot of joy, a lot of great music, culminating at the end of the night, of course, with Peter Gabriel and his band, with international artists from his label that were on stage with him, including people from India, Ireland, like Sinead O'Connor, and even the African drummers from Burundi that were on his label called Real World. And they played with him at the very end of his set on a political song called Biko. If you don't know the story of Stephen Biko, you can Google that. And of course, Gabriel himself has been, at times involved with Amnesty International. I think Coachella was inspired by the World of Music, Arts, and Dance Festival in some way or another, because there's some of the qualities that they seem to continue on with that festival. I never went to it. I either was too busy working, couldn't find others who wanted to do the whole experience, including go out into the desert, let alone spend the whole day, or more than one day or whatever. And it was not what I would consider really affordable either for the working class people. So that's an issue, obviously, right? But I do have to give kudos to the Strokes at the end of their set. Here's what the crowd got exposed to. Juan Torres, president of Bolivia, overthrown in 1976 during U.S. Operation Condor. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The U.S. government was found guilty of his murder in a civil trial that came years later, filed by his family. And of course, we're very familiar with how the U.S. started with genocide of the indigenous people and slavery of Africans, also in the creation of the first industrial revolution in the 19th century. And we've seen all the various ways that people have been divided in this country. Also, Omar Torrijos, president of Panama, plane crash 1981. The CIA was suspected. Jacob Arbenz, president of Guatemala, overthrown in 1954 by the CIA. It's on record. Salvador Allende, president of Chile, overthrown in 1973 by the CIA. Jaime Rondos, president of Ecuador, plane crash 1981, CIA suspected. Of course, over 30 universities have been destroyed in Iran. All of the universities, it seems, that have been bombed in Gaza, let alone all the other atrocities of hundreds of thousands of people being slaughtered and genocided. Many of those people there probably did not know a lot of the specific details of what was being flashed on a screen in front of them. So that's a good thing. And I do have to say kudos to Julian Casablanca and the guys for doing that. So Roger Waters isn't the only artist who will project images like that on the screen for the audience to contemplate. But in some ways, the Strokes audience might be, an audience that would actually get more exposure than, a lot of Roger Waters' audience probably already knows a lot of these things. Because, Roger does have a history now of being very political. There are solutions. There's a lot of hope, and the Center for Political Innovation offers a lot of hope, as well as some solutions. And we do have books if you want to learn. That's why we call ourselves an educational political think tank, in part because we do have books. Like, for instance, Khrushchevism by Caleb Maupin. It's a study in psychological warfare which is partly what you saw, being demonstrated and shown to the Coachella audience. A lot of things from history, the CIA, etc., are still implemented to this day, and we all know it, we all see it, right? This is an educational manual called We Are City Builders, which has also been part of our book club that we have, at least through the LA group online, if you want to join us. And this book here, Who are the Houthis and what are they fighting for? They've been with the Palestinians from day one, and obviously this goes back to the 1948 and the Nakba. It didn't start on October 7th, 2023. So you can learn more about the Houthis in Yemen. Why are they doing what they're doing? And they were the first ones, maybe in the current conflicts, to create blockades, right? It's an effective strategy. And then to learn more about the economics and the philosophy of the Center for Political Innovation, we do have a 4-point economic plan, which you can read about in this book, What is Innovationism? And real solutions, if they were implemented, if we had a government of action for working families, things could turn around here. Instead of investing in war, we'd be investing in our economic development. And it would benefit everyone, right? Literally everyone in some capacity, because there is abundance for all. We just have to make sure that that's available for all to participate in. So let's help to create a movement to demand a government of action for working families. And that's what it's all about with the Center for Political Innovation, cpiusa.org. You can join us, support us. Let's do it now. And peace now.